Hi everyone, welcome to Raising Vibrations with myself, Simon. Today everyone, I'm going to be sharing with you a new series that I'm going to be creating or have begun creating. And this series to me is really, really special. I know that I've done the Pluto series and the Uranus, and I was working with the Moon series at the moment. However, I'm following something that is really, in a sense, joyful to me. And so I'm going to be focusing on this video series, and I'm going to be sharing with you some knowledge about astrology in a way that I don't think has been completely and utterly embodied, okay? A big part of the mission, as you know, for Raising Vibrations and myself is that my main aim is to smash all paradigms that old astrology holds, okay? And to really revolutionize the way that we understand the archetype and the science of astrology. Now, my teachings, as you know, are based on evolutionary astrology's principles, which correlates to the natural archetypes, the 12 archetypes. And as I've gone on this journey of discovering evolutionary astrology and what it's brought to me, I've started to get to a point where I've noticed that the way that I actually intuit a lot of my own sort of ways of decoding this reality, this fabric of space, has actually come through evolutionary astrology's principles. But now I'm starting to individuate the process completely, and that's really exciting. And so what this series is going to bring for you is me showing you how much power, not only, but how much potential, and in a sense, showing you what actually can be done with the understanding of the Zodiac, okay, and how it operates in a way that that has never been done before in terms of old paradigm astrology. There has been some astrology out there that has looked at the natural zodiac and the way that it operates, and it's kind of given some truth about it. But I feel like today, and what I'm going to be doing in this video series as I'm introducing this with you, is really getting you to understand, like I said, how the ecliptic works, and so on and so forth. All this information that I'm going to contain within this video series, and I think you're really going to enjoy this. I think there's a lot of learning that's going to come your way. I feel like you will definitely be looking at the natural zodiac very differently, and astrology very differently to how it has happened in the past. And hopefully it will actually shift your perspective, move your paradigm into a way that actually allows you to really sort of splash and play in the awesomeness that the natural zodiac actually brings. And so yeah, so that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. It's a presentation consistently all the time. You'll see how I've done the format. And I'm just going to show you how astrology works when you really get down to the truth and essence of what it exists. And again, a major part of this process is me sitting over here and sharing this information with you, and so that you can pass it on and also allow this to be integrated into your own life, and self-empowering your way through your existence and becoming more attuned and aligned with natural law, and of course the natural ways that we as human beings exist on Earth, okay? Connecting back to nature, as it were. So I'm going to show you the introduction slide, and I'm going to show you my intention and how I'm working with this. And then once that is done, I will move over to two examples or two natural zodiac teachings. And yeah, so I hope you enjoy this presentation. As you can see on your screen at the moment, you have two diagrams, okay? The first thing that I want to share with you is that when you want to understand the zodiac, when you want to understand life itself, okay, all the answers to everything that exists on this plane of existence in terms of life itself exists in these two diagrams that I've just reflected to you right now, okay? The beautiful part about what I'm going to share with you today is also that the universe, as well as Mother Earth and so on, teaches you all the truth that you need to know about the existence on Earth. Okay, there is inherent no belief system. You don't need to believe what I have to say. I'm not trying to sell something to you. I'm actually showing you from direct experience of how Mother Nature works that these teachings are intrinsic in nature. You can go out and find them for yourself, which is so beautiful, because it's not, again, this process of, oh, I believe in astrology. It's like, no, actually, are you awake to your interconnectedness with nature in that sense? So on the left-hand side over here, on this diagram that I've showed you where my little red marker is, I've got what is called the sine wave, okay? This is this beautiful, elaborate sort of wave of existence, okay? Electricity and the universe vibrates, okay? And so what we have here is two polarities. We have the summer solstice on the 21st of June, and we have the winter solstice, the Tropic of Capricorn, on the 21st of September. And we have this polarity where it's completely entrenched in winter and completely entrenched in summer, okay? And if you looked at the way that these energies are working, you can actually see that there's a polarity from there to there, and the actual Earth itself, as well as our existence on Earth and the dynamics that are intrinsic to the laws here, the laws that exist in our plane of existence here, are showing you how this operates. There is a vibration from polarity to polarity, on to off, left to right, etc., night to day. And there's that polarization and that vibration. So our universe vibrates with that electrical field. And so the sine wave is the reflection, it's the wave, okay? It's the wave of light, okay? So you have 0 degrees there and you have 0 degrees there, but from 0 Aries equinox, 21st of March, all the way to the 20th of March the following year, you have 360 degrees. And each degree is an angle of light, i.e. the sun's degree that it is in the day. So we have Aries, the first degree in Aries, the second degree in Aries, third degree in Aries. You see how this is working? And then your birthday is on the 5th of August. That is when the sun is, let's say, for instance, 12 degrees. Okay? The sun is at a 12th degree within the light, and it is reflecting in the wave. So therefore that angle is existing, and all of it reflects what? The source, the ether, the point zero, the A, the omega, the alpha, the Aries. So everything originates from that point, the source, and then it just vibrates out like that. So if you really want to understand life itself, the natural zodiac is this beautiful explanation. And another thing that I want to share with you right now is that the natural zodiac, 360 degrees, the full circle, the complete circle, there is no 13th sign. There is just the 12 signs. And the reason why this is the case is because when you incarnate onto Earth, when you exist within the consciousness of this planet and its solar system, you've incarnated to explore and expand and experience the 12 archetypes of this creation. And all the 12 archetypes are manifested through these symbols. Therefore, when you're looking at the zodiac itself and you're looking at the ecliptic, the sine wave, the day and night motion, what you are observing within your existence is the natural flow of light relative to these 12 archetypes. Does it make sense? In other words, you will notice that in your astrology chart, you will say, oh, I have an empty 5th house. Well, that's not the case. The reason why this is the point is because even though you don't have a planet in that 5th house of your astrology chart, you will have a sign that is ruling your 5th house in your astrology. And again, the 5th house, the sign of Leo, and the sun are all the same archetype. So therefore you contain holistically, because you are whole, you are complete. There is no separation, okay? When you understand that concept, you'll recognize that in your astrology chart, an empty house is not an empty house. It is just no planet in there activating that frequency in your awareness in a more heightened way. So if you've got loads of planets on the top of the part of the chart, so therefore it's an emphasized top chart. But you have the sun somewhere in the astrology chart. You have Leo ruling a house somewhere. And then you have the sign that's ruling your 5th house somewhere. So therefore, when you integrate the archetype of Leo, which is creative self-actualization, in other words, how am I being seen in the world? How am I showing my sun-like qualities? Okay, that's why we know about our sun signs. That's why we have a birthday. And who's the attention on the birthday? The sun, the solar, okay? You see how this is working? So this solar system that we have exists of 12 archetypes, and 12 archetypes are intrinsic within you. This is you. You and Mother Earth are interconnected. What you are seeing in terms of her behavior is just how you as a person operate. So you naturally have biorhythms going up and down. You're awake, top part of the chart, spring equinox, summer solstice, the 12 o'clock position, the Capricorn archetype. In this particular instance, it's Cancer, right? Everybody's out, the community's connected, etc., etc. And then the sun moves down into Libra, and that is the Alpha, Aries, the Omega, Libra, the crucifixion of the sun. When the sun moves into the underground part of this sine wave, the darkness, as you can see it there? Can you see the sine wave? This is why we have time zones, right? Sine wave, okay? In this particular instance, so you have a change of season. Look there, Aries, spring. Look at the sign, look at the symbol, how it's springing into action. It's like a fountain. Everything begins there at that spring archetype, and then we get to the middle, the summer solstice. Everybody's right in full motion. It's like a car. It doesn't instantly go from 0 to 100 instantly, you know? It needs to gain pace. So it's the same process here, gaining pace, and then eventually it's at full speed. And then at some point you want to brake, or you want to turn, slow down, etc. And then you move slow into that space. The same thing, the afternoon. And you have the seasons all happening at the Aries, the Cancer, the Libra, and the Capricorn. And what happened here is that on the 23rd of April 2014, we had a grand cardinal cross. And it was a shift in our consciousness in that way. And we had Aries, spring. We had Cancer, summer solstice. Jupiter was in Cancer. Uranus was in Aries. In Libra, Mars was there, right? And in Capricorn was Pluto. And the seasons that are shifting from spring to summer are cardinal archetypes. So when we take away the astrology jargon and we just look at seasons shifting, we can see instantly that there's spring, and then we go Aries, new beginnings. We can see that the summer solstice is the Tropic of Cancer. That's when the sun is the most brightest in that period. Everything is balanced in that sense. Okay? And we're experiencing a polarization. In the middle of the southern hemisphere, it's winter. And in the northern hemisphere, it's summer. So you take away the astrology jargon and you just have spring, summer, autumn, winter. And the winter period is the changing of seasons. Cardinal reflects change. And you can see it in the zodiac, in the sine wave, the most beautiful expression. The natural zodiac contains all the archetypes within our consciousness. We are interconnected with everything that exists here. In spring, we plant the crops, and in Virgo, we harvest them. So you put all your food into your mouth there in Aries, and in the Virgo archetype, which rules the intestines, you are digesting it. You're assimilating all that stuff into the consciousness of yourself. You see how that's working? Okay? And then you have the ecliptic here. Again, this is the ecliptic. That's where the equator is. And again, the same thing. The equator's across there, and that's the sine wave going there. Pretty neat, isn't it? So what I'm going to be sharing with you today and in this video series is showing you how when you interconnect planetary archetypes, when you interconnect archetypes, you can actually see light being revealed to you, i.e. life. Okay? So that was the 2D perspective. This is the 3D holistic, fifth dimensional consciousness experience, where it is in circular form. Circular form. This is your life. Your life begins there and it ends at Pisces, and it ends there again. Completion, evolutionary cycle. Each archetype reflects to us a way that things behave in that particular instance. And so therefore we have Aries, and it goes down. Okay, and we have yang energy, expression, going outwards, and then we have yin energy coming back inwards. Then outward expression, then inward expression, then outward expression, then inward expression, then outward expression, inward expression, outward, inward, outward, inward, until eventually we get to that point. And so we have yin and yang, day and night, sine wave, solstice, summer, winter, autumn, spring. See how there's polarity here, this balance, Libra, in this particular instance. So this is the 3D, or should I say the holistic perspective of what you just saw recently. So I'm going to be showing you how the natural zodiac, Aries, spring, Cancer, solstice, winter, crucifixion, afternoon, autumn, winter. So here's the two together. Here's the house, zodiac or wheel. In this particular instance, you've got this, they're on the other side here. But you have the path of the ecliptic sun. That's how it's moving. Okay, through like that. This is throughout the whole year. And you start at 1 and you go all the way up until 4, Cancer, solar, summer, solstice, etc., etc., crucifixion, balanced harmony on the ecliptic again. Balance, harmony, relative to beginning. And so therefore it goes under and comes back and starts at 1 again. And therefore you can see it. 4th, Tropic of Cancer. 10th, Tropic of Capricorn. 1st, the horizon, the rising sign. This is the biggest misconception in old paradigm astrology, that the rising sign correlates to your personality type. It couldn't be further from the truth. The rising sign is actually an aspect of yourself that you are intrinsically and instinctually trying to discover in every single moment. You're acting out of instinct. Therefore, it is not aware. You become aware of the process as you act instinctually and then get environmental feedback. Therefore, the rising sign is the rising sun. You are becoming aware of that sign in this lifetime. Whereas the descendant, 7th house, is what you project into relationships and to other people, that's what they see. So you, for instance, have the 7th house, you have the 1st house in Pisces, your ascendant in Pisces, and you have the 7th house in Virgo. Then naturally what you have here is that inwardly you're free-flowing and sort of in a safe, like chaotic in that way. And then on the outside, everybody sees you as this very sort of well-organized, prim proper person that's got his stuff together. Whereas inwardly, it's the other way around. You're always in a constant state of becoming. So therefore, in every single moment, you are horizing, the horizon sign, the right ascension. Ascendant. Okay, so see how that connects in that experience, the 2D experience and then the holistic experience? So what I've done, everyone, is I've created the Zodiac wheel, and this is what I'm going to be doing in my little presentations with everybody. I've taken a keyword that reflects the archetype, so Aries, direction, Taurus, resource, diversity, Gemini, security, Cancer, expression, Leo, readjustment, Virgo, polarity, Libra, core, Scorpio, expansion, Sagittarius, definition, Capricorn, individuality, Aquarius, and return, Pisces. These are the 12 archetypes that we have in our lives. And when you mix and match them together, you have the complexity of the human creation. That's why when you read astrology charts and you understand these 12 archetypes intrinsically within yourself, and you look at how they're mismatched, like they're connected all in the chart, you can notice exactly how to communicate with somebody and in yourself. Let's say, for instance, you have the archetype of expression and security next together. You'll notice that this person is expressing the light, or reflecting to us the light of security and expression simultaneously. And the way that you see that in your life is, oh yeah, that's who I am. Because you are a vibration of light reflecting itself, or reflecting the 12 archetypes. And the connection that you have within yourself and what your astrology wheel shows you is how those things are all connected in one way, shape, or form. It's how you're experiencing creation. Pretty neat, isn't it? So that is the approach that I'm going to be sharing with you today. I really hope that you enjoyed what I'm going to be introducing and what I shared with you today in terms of this video. I'm honestly super excited to actually be revealing to you how this is going to be, or how this teaching is going to unfold. I feel like a big part of what I've shared with you right now is us becoming more interconnected with nature, and interconnected with how Gaia works, and interconnected with the natural ways and laws that exist and principles that exist within creation. And when you have that kind of like base understanding, when you're sitting over there and you're really clear about how things are operating on Earth without our intervention as in human beings being on planet, and how things are naturally manifesting, you'll actually see that we have all the technology necessary to build the things that we need to do. Especially when it comes to, like, for instance, life cycles. We know that on Earth, things have life cycles. We know that we are a life cycle. And so therefore, if we use that with good, clean consciousness intention to create and engineer and manufacture stuff that is intended, well, or not intended, but integrating this life cycle process, we'll notice that our reality, our world, can actually be a lot cleaner in that way. A simple example that every one of you probably knows already, so I'm not standing here saying that this information is new and I have some, access to the stuff. It's not the truth. I'm just basically just bringing it to our awareness in that sense as well. It's like the sun, solar panels, okay? The sun is the life force that exists on planet Earth. That is what gives us life. And so therefore, if we are creating things that completely use the solar energy, then we won't need to have all this electricity or generated electricity in that sense. Of course, weather itself plays an important role. So I'm not saying that like we have to like completely let go of our technology. I don't mean that. I mean in the sense that if we start orientating our construction of our reality that is aligned with nature, which is a big part of my work, is trying to get a lot of souls out there that are wanting to be engineers, that are wanting to be, souls that want to actually build and be creative within our lives, that influenced by this experience. And so that we can create more organic, interconnected living with nature versus being separate from her in that particular instance. So that's why, one of the reasons why I'm sharing this information, why astrology in that way can also be so helpful, because it's not about personality traits. It's about how we are interconnected with nature and how nature can show us everything that we need in that sense. And when we tap deeply into the truth that exists there, we have this plethora of information available to us. So really exciting, really, really exciting stuff. What I wanted to say to you is that upcoming on Raising Vibrations, I just wanted to create some space over here a little bit. I'm currently creating a 4 or 5 part video series, which is talking about the nature of the current state of reality at this stage. I'm going to be sharing some of my own direct experiences of how I'm running my own life in that way. So I'm sure many of you will be really excited to see how my philosophy is, in that way. So I'm really, really excited to be bringing that. I can tell you that from the very core of my being, I've definitely stepped into my soul's journey even more so than I've had up until this point in time. So it's going to be really, really amazing to share with you this 4-part video series presentation, about 15 minutes long on each subject, that if you integrate within your life, you could actually create quite a holistic perspective in terms of how to deal with a lot of the madness that is being perceived at this stage. Okay? Great, everyone. Thank you so much for participating in this video. I really just am over excited to be sharing this stuff with you. I hope that it's been received well from yourself as well, and that you're truly, really happy to want this information. So yeah. Okay. Well, make sure to check out all the questions and answers videos on the YouTube channel. Make sure that you don't miss the next questions and answers. I think it's on Friday. And if you're looking for soul guidance readings and such, please come over to my website. You know where the details are in the description below. And you can support me by donating for a reading, and we can set that up. Many, many souls are coming through at this point in time. So I'm absolutely grateful for the fact that I can be in soul service in that sense. Fantastic.